You are here because you're looking for a boat blind. You either have one that you're looking to upgrade or you're getting your first one for the first time. Now, I have had my Beavertail for 2 years. I've got 2 seasons under it, and I've learned a lot in the 2 seasons that I've been using it. I want to talk about the pros and cons of my experience and also show you guys some footage of what it looks like in the field, actually duck hunting and having a decent day. So let's get to it. The first pro that I want to talk about is just the overall mobility. I run a fishing channel, so I spend most of my time fishing. You can see I've got my dual batteries up front, and I can have this blind off. Say it's going to be a bluebird day tomorrow, I don't want to hunt. I can take this blind off in 5 minutes. You just unscrew this arm. This will actually extend out, and I can remove it. It just flips right off to the side. So that is one of the best qualities about the blind, is you can take it on and off really easily by yourself. The second thing, which is really specific to me, is it's customizable. These blinds are designed for aluminum boats. They're not designed for fiberglass skiffs. But what I had to do was I took a 16-inch version here and I actually chopped it down, because as you guys can see, I have about 4 foot of bow cap here that I have to account for. So really what I'm working with is about a 12-foot blind. I cut down each of the poles and it's worked flawlessly with me customizing it to fit my boat. The next pro I want to talk about is just the overall protection that you have when you're actually hunting it. This stuff is really thick. This material is really dense, thick, and it blocks wind flawlessly. For example, yesterday we hunted in 42 degrees. It was blowing 10 to 15. And when you're in the blind versus when you step out to retrieve ducks, there is a noticeable difference in temperature. The boat will actually stay warmer while you're in it because of your body heat, and it just holds heat so well. The next pro that I want to talk about is just the overall concealment. Now, I did not open up the blind to let it dry out yesterday, so the grass is a little jacked up right now, but you still get the overall idea of how it looks when it's in the water. And this is about $300 worth of grass. And this is the heavy hauler. I'll put a link down below for you guys to check this out, but it's definitely worth it. I just folded it over and then attached it to all these loops that's built into the blind. As you can see, there's just grass everywhere. I have loaded this thing down with grass. And the last pro is just the overall stability. This thing, I mean, I can shake it, beat it up, slam it against the bank. I can jump up and down in the boat if I want to. This thing is rock solid because it actually takes the shape of the boat. It sits on top of the rails, so it's super stable. You never have to worry about the blind falling down while you're in it. And before I switch to the con list, I want to show y'all what it looks like while you're in the boat. I have one lane kind of set up for a cooler. You can sit right here in the front of the boat. And then I sit back there in the very back. And I have like a seat set up back here. You can kind of tell it right here. That's where I would sit. But it's super stable for 2 people. I mean, you can't find a better blind for 2 people. You could put 3 in here, but it would be a little tight. And these 2 people in these front 2 hatches would be shooting pretty close to each other. But let's get to the cons list. The number 1 con is once you're in the blind, you're in the blind. You're not moving around. If you had to get up and crawl from the very back of the boat to the front of the boat, you've got to kind of crawl underneath everything. It is a little tight. I know with duck hunting, that's what you want. You don't want a lot of extra space visible to the ducks, but it's something to think about. If you're a larger frame person like me, traveling inside the blind is going to be very tough. The next thing to consider when you're looking at multiple blinds is just the cost. I got really lucky and I got mine slightly used for $500. It did not have grass on it, which is a big cost. But the blind itself was basically new. Now they run $730, $750, $800 after tax. It's a considerable amount of money and something you should really take into consideration if you're considering buying a blind. The last thing I'll talk about on the cons list is just the overall maintenance. Now there's a lot of parts that I would consider maintenance. I'm gonna have to constantly replace my grass. I can already see changes in the quality of the grass in the beginning of the season to the end, so that could be a cost every year. Also, this cover could start going eventually. These loops are starting to pop on me after 2 years. Yes, I'm rough on it, but it's something to consider. You have Velcro that attaches on all of these slots around the edge. That Velcro is not very good. It does not want to stay, especially when you add a lot of weighted grass on top. So these are things that you have to consider. Is every 4 or 5 years you may have to get a new cover for it. That's going to be an added cost. Now before I get into an actual duck hunting video, I want to talk about would I do it again if I were given the option to buy this blind again. I have had 4 types of blinds. I have custom made 3 of those, and this is the first one that I bought. And this thing by far is a dream. It folds right up, it folds right over top of you. When you're ready to clean up, you're done in 2 or 3 minutes, especially if you have help. Yeah, it's costly, but if this one broke or I lost it going down the side of the road, I'd buy a new one tomorrow. Now, it's not gonna work for everybody. If you have a odd shaped boat, that's something to consider. Mine is an odd shaped boat, but I made it work. But these are designed for aluminum boats, so it's something to think about if you are buying it. Will it work for your boat, and can you modify it to fit? Would I do it again? All day. Now, enough talking, let me show you some evidence that this thing kills. We just had those 3 come in, and they did it perfect. The way I'm set up is we've got the wind at our back, and they kind of circled in off the side here and pulled right into this little pocket. And I believe it's gadwalls. Look out front. You see him? They're moving on. I believe this is gadwalls, which is interesting because they never decoy. And they pulled right in between the mallards and teal. Beautiful. It's awesome, man. It might be the Draco there. All gadwall. I'm gonna pass them over to you. Beautiful, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm so jacked up because my experience with gadwall is up by the Outer Banks, we have such a tough time getting them to decoy. They always land 20, 25, 30 yards outside the decoys, and for those to do it like they just did it, I am jacked up. Sure is. Yeah, we're gonna shoot these passers. All right, get them.
Did you just hit that one?
Yeah.
Oh my God, right here, baby.
Good work, boy. Bluebill. Yeah.
You gonna make it, Biggie?
Uh-huh.
Said you gonna make it, Biggie? They call these blackheads, don't you? In the Outer Banks?
Some people do, yeah. I don't know, dude. Uh-huh. Going on. Those other ones over there are still just kind of circling that same area.
Well.
Oh shit, look behind you. That is ducks. Woo! Let's go, boy! Let's go! All right, guys, that is gonna wrap us up. Me and Aaron put in our time. We've been out here for 2 or 3 hours now, and got a really good mix of birds. It's unexpected here in North Carolina. You never know what you're gonna get, but if you put your time in, you will have a few good days here and there. I can't be more excited about those gadwall. That's really the ones that done it for me, because being, you know, from Columbia, we really struggle to get them to decoy. What they do is they always land 15, 20 yards outside the decoys, and it's always about 40 to 50 yards too far for you to shoot. So for them to do it like they did it first thing this morning is really exciting. But I thought those were ducks right there. But I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.